And it is live at 9 on a Friday morning. James Phillips here on WJLX. And this morning I'm joined by Al Blanton of Blanton, right? Like we've changed the name a few times.
We've changed it, just Blanton now.
Just Blanton.
Drop the media group.
Right.
Just Blanton.
Because that's all anybody needs to know.
That's it.
And then we got Brack Bradley here of Brackyard Films, right?
That's right.
All right. You guys are working on a, I'm saying working on, because you just told me we're still working on it.
Right.
But it's going to premiere tomorrow night, a documentary on Coach Glenn Clem.
That's right.
And I think this is such a cool project because he's almost like, he's the Walker County version of Bear Bryant, really. Mm-hmm. And to be able to get stories out there about him and to find out more for people younger than us who don't know Coach Clem, this is going to be a really cool thing. Tell us kind of where the idea came from. I know you've been close to Coach Clem and his family for a long time.
Yeah, so we started a sports magazine called Tailgate, Talegate, about a year ago, and I guess about 6 months ago, Brack approached me about doing a little collaboration, some videography stuff with respect to Tailgate, and so we rolled out a couple documentaries, and then we really were enjoying the process, and so this was kind of the third iteration of our documentary series, and we were thinking about what we wanted to do, and we wanted to do something local, and it was just kind of a natural thought of, hey, let's do something on Coach Clem. Such an incredible character, as you mentioned, and we wanted to continue to tell, his life story with this documentary.
Well, have you been surprised by anything through it as far as his story? Now, I know making the film, there's going to be surprises, but
I'll let Brack handle that because Brack, I knew Coach Clem from going to Clem's camp and then playing for him, and so I had a whole history of Coach Clem, but Brack didn't really know him that much. So
yeah, well, it's I was aware of who he was.
Right.
I never went to the basketball camp growing up.
Right.
Growing up here, was aware of friends that went and who he was. He was a basketball coach, but other than that, I knew nothing.
Yeah.
And then we got into this project, and it just blew the doors off. One of my biggest surprises was that all the people that talked about him, that were friends with him, family members, and just all the stories that unfolded, it's incredible. What an impact this man had on the community we live in, and I was completely clueless.
Yeah.
But just the emotional nature of how he affected people, how he pulled the community together, how he interacted with the community. It's just an incredible story, and every moment that we have continued to work on it and edit this film, we've uncovered nuggets every single day. And should we add this? Should we add this? How do we build this story? How do we continue this thought? And it's been a really, really fun process.
One of the cool things for me was learning a little bit more about Coach Clem at home, because I'd seen him as a coach and going to basketball camp, and a lot of people have that perspective of him. So many kids growing up went to his camp,
right,
and then a few of us, had the pleasure of playing for him, but learning more about him as a family man. And we interviewed Angela Clem Harbin, who is his daughter, and then we interviewed Glenn Clem Jr., and they kind of gave us that perspective of Clem at home.
Yeah, yeah. Now, was there any added pressure for you to be able to put this story together since you were so close to him, and then for you're having to tell a story about somebody you don't know very well, so what was the pressure on it?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really feel that. The main thing was I just wanted to honor his life. That's why we're doing this. I mean, I think I can speak for Brack in saying that when we're doing these documentaries, we just find meaning in celebrating people, and that could be overcoming adversity, or in this case, just celebrating their life and their impact. And so I try not to put too much pressure on myself or on us. Because of the nature of my relationship with him, I just want to do a great job for him and really make his family proud.
Yeah.
Well, I think too with, all the interviews that we had, this being our third project, I think now Al and I, we kind of have a little dance creatively, and I think we've understood how we each work and how this works together, and being able to pull these certain questions and emotions from people and just make it natural. Yeah, we've got cameras, we've got lights, it's we've got boom microphones, and it's not normal for a lot of people.
Right.
But we always say, hey, we're just having a conversation.
Right.
There just happens to be things here that are recording this process, and if we can make those people relax, we get so much more of a natural response, and they get relaxed, and then we're just having the conversation.
Yeah.
But I think, for me, as being kind of a visual storyteller, I love people.
Yeah.
I love hearing these stories. I love documenting these stories and bringing them to life through not only the interviews, but the visuals, the B-roll that we shoot, the drone shots, and how we relate all of that to what they're talking about. And when it comes together and you go back and hit play and review it, it's just it's beautiful.
Yeah.
When you're working with somebody, let me interject for a second.
Yeah.
When you're working with somebody that is the caliber of a Brack Bradley.
And we'll go through his
please.
accolades later on.
Yeah, well,
after the break.
No, I mean that.
But
I mean,
it's
like,
true.
It
It is
takes
true.
that pressure off.
Yeah.
It really does, because you know that the guy you're working alongside is going to bring it every single time.
Right.
And so I just had that confidence in his ability to, whatever we were doing, whether we were interviewing or doing drone footage or, just shooting B-roll stuff, he's going to bring it,
Right.
and I just have confidence in his ability to produce a great product. So
But Brack, can you say the same thing about that?
that's yeah.
Let me get my
I
bow
feel
out
like
here.
this is the main question.
Yeah.
No, and I will throw compliments back there. There's in this whole process, from time to time, I do a lot of what we call one-man band work.
Right.
Where I'm shooting, producing, directing, editing, everything.
Yeah.
And it's rare to have an outside opinion or voice or whatever you want to call it. So in that regard, being able to see, I guess it's being able to see the forest, not the trees,
Yeah.
and seeing the bigger picture has been a big help, because a lot of times I'll get so hyper focused on one thing, and what I need to do, I just need to zoom out. I need to see the whole world, think about this, step back. And Al's been really good as a co-producer, co-editor of saying, no, we don't need that. That's not propelling the story forward. We can trim that fat and move on from there. But also in terms of in the production time, it's really nice to be able to focus on what I'm doing visually, creatively, where Al can talk to our people that were being interviewed. He can kind of handle the quote producer role,
Right.
and deal with them while I focus on what I'm doing. And it's been a really fun ride on it, and we've learned that we work really well together. And not that we had any, we didn't think so, but all of a sudden it's like, man, this is cool. This is clicking.
Yeah.
And the other day we were editing, we were going through the process, and Al gets a little antsy, paces back and forth, and he's like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that, and then I'm over here
Pacing.
slicing and dicing
Yeah.
and doing my thing, and then I'm like, all right, come here, and
Yeah.
comes back, hit play, all right, that's it, great, moving on.
Yeah.
And very decisive, and it really helps me push me forward and push me to just kind of work quicker and do that kind of thing. So it's been really cool.
I really feel like this is this budding bromance that's going on here. And you mentioned that y'all have learned to dance. I mean, if we could get you two to dance on camera, I think that would be a great thing.
Well, it's
More maybe like an in-sync choreograph
Yes.
type deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a slow dance.
Yeah,
That'd
not
be
a slow
too
dance.
much.
Nothing romantic.
No.
or anything, but and I mean, I'll join in.
Yeah.
If you let the one-legged guy in the boy band, I'll join.
Oh, hey, that's that.
You do a mean rendition of Bye Bye Bye.
Yes, I do. Yes.
I'm getting ready for my Brack tattoo on my shoulder. So
Right,
I'm gonna
yeah.
get sort of a.
You guys should
yeah.
get matching tattoos.
Yeah,
you know?
well,
Well, we,
yeah.
you
Brack and Owl
know, we can
tattoo.
call ourselves the Brack Street Boys if you like.
Yeah, that's
Oh, that would
Love
be good. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah.
Now, were you guys friends before this? Like, I mean, I know you guys knew each other, and I would say we probably all three say, "Oh yeah, we're friends."
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, were y'all close friends before this?
No, I mean, and I'm kind of the elder statesman of the group. I think were you in like ninth when I was in 12th or 8th? I think you were in 8th when I graduated high school. And so,
Maybe. Really? You that? No.
I am that old.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes, I am. So,
Well, you graduated a year early though.
two 2 years early, but let's don't get
2
into
years
that.
early.
I'll sit back. I'll let you guys talk.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a long story.
No, we had. I mean, I knew who Brack was. We did a article on him in the magazine in like 2014 or 15 or something like
God,
that.
like
and,
8 lifetimes ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know him that well. I knew he'd been out to Hollywood and been all over the world.
Oh,
and that
he's a big
kind of stuff.
deal.
But yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, please.
and we had done a picture out in for the article out the back of the Blanton building. He was flying a drone. I just thought that was so cool at the time. It's like 11 years ago.
Oh
So-
yeah, yeah.
But we didn't really know each other that well, and I'll tell you what, man, I've just enjoyed it. I mean, you're right. It's not a bromance, but I mean, we've just developed such a close friendship,
Right.
and I love that, you know, and that's really honestly that's what this is all about. When I was thinking this morning about, you know, like what has been the most enjoyable part of this process, you know, of putting this Clem documentary together, and it's been the people. It's been, you know, getting to know Brack more. I mean, we've been having, man, the last 2 nights we've been having jam sessions till about 1:30 in the morning trying to knock this thing out. And we've had some really funny moments, you know, during that time, but also just getting to know Coach Clem's family more, getting to know a lot of these players more, you know, people in the community that knew him. That's been the best part of this whole thing. I mean,
Yeah.
like, you know, yes, we're going to have a finished product tomorrow night. But it's been about the people.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the other documentaries. This is the third one, and this is a full-length documentary. The first couple that you guys did were shorter 10-minute type films. Tell us a little bit about those. Too.
Yeah, so the first one was a documentary on Hudson Lawson, who is he just graduated at Haleyville High School. He's a golfer. He should be going to LSU any time now to play golf. But I had gotten wind of his story through Davey Reed, who's the principal at Haleyville, and I just kept telling Davey, like, man, we got to do a story on Hudson because Hudson lost his mom to colon cancer in 2023. You know, he's an LSU golf signee. He's lost his mom, and it's a big faith story. You know,
Yeah.
and it had all the elements of a great story. And I kept running into Davey. I was like, man, we got to do this story on the LSU kid, you know. And so then Brack comes in about that same time, and when we're talking about collaborating, I said, hey, well, I know this story up in Haleyville, and I pitched it to him, and we said, let's go do it. And it was about a 10-minute documentary, and another cool thing about this is just the community support. And the Haleyville community really got behind that story and supported us. And then we had a debut event at Haleyville High School to show the documentary for the first time. And so that was really, really cool and magical. I don't like that word, but I mean, it was magical.
Yeah.
So then the second one we did was on Yancey Young, who was a former baseball player at Summit and Christian who has lymphoma. And as you know, Summit and Christian ended up winning the state championship under Ricky Bowen in 2024. So telling that story.
Yeah, and both those are very powerful stories. And then this one, you guys are having a premiere event. We need to mention that on Saturday. So tomorrow at Bevel State. Is it at Roland or where?
Yeah, it's at Clem Gym at
Is that Clem Gym?
6:30. Yeah,
Okay.
Clem Gym at 6:30.
And tickets for the event?
Yeah, you can get tickets for the event on Eventbrite, EVENTBRITE. Yeah, that's it right there.
I've already got my ticket.
There it is right there.
Get yours.
Or you can get tickets at the door. You know, we definitely want to have a good turnout. You know, we've got the gym reserved. Bevel State has been awesome to allow us to do this. They've got the new big jumbotron.
I was going to say, will y'all be showing it
Yeah.
on the jumbotron
Yeah.
and everything?
Yeah. So, it's cool to be able to debut the documentary in Clem Gym.
You're right.
And-
Yeah.
And one thing is, as you know, I mean, I was the head coach at Bevel from '07 to '09, and I mean, I was there in kind of the quote old gym.
Right.
Well, the renovations in that gym have been awesome, and
Oh, yeah.
so just kind of having it in that same venue, I think it's cool. And I think if you haven't been there before, you haven't seen the new gym and the updates that they've done, this is a good opportunity to come in and really be at a cool event tomorrow night. So
Yeah, I think the entire community should turn out to look at the gym, see the gym. If you haven't, like you said, it is a top-notch facility.
yeah,
They've done a lot of really cool stuff in there.
yeah,
And then just to be able to check out the film and art that like people in our community are putting together.
Yes,
That is
yes.
amazing. And the other two documentaries, people can view them on your YouTube channel.
yeah.
What's the YouTube channel?
It's Tailgate
Tailgate.
Sports, TALEGATE. Another thing that about tomorrow night's event that I think is going to be kind of neat is we're gonna show the documentary, but then Brack and I are going to sit down with Angela, Glenn Jr., and Coach Epps, and we're just going to have kind of like a discussion time / debriefing, talking about the documentary. He and I are going to kind of share maybe some funny things from behind the scenes, but then we'll probably take a couple questions from the crowd too. So, we wanted that aspect of it for, after we show it and let people kind of marinate on that and digest what we put together, that we sit down with some of the key stars, and I would say those are people that were as close to Coach Clem as anybody,
Right.
to talk a little bit about their reactions to what we put together. And that's the thing too, is like, especially when you're dealing with something that can be sensitive, and the Hudson story in Haleyville was very sensitive because he lost his mom. The Yancey story is sensitive because he's got cancer, and this is sensitive because Coach Clem's death was so untimely.
Right.
And again, so there's a little bit of a sensitive nature to it. So we just want to make sure that the families are okay with that, and just that they're kind of putting their stamp of approval on everything. So that's very, very important.
Well, and I think it'll be such a cool experience because anyone who comes is going to get to see that raw reaction. They haven't seen this film. The family hasn't. Nobody has seen. You guys haven't seen the film completed yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be such a raw, emotional time to be able to see it and then to hear from them. Hopefully, they are not cussing you guys or booing you. I feel like they'll be extremely happy. But.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I really believe that there's going to be such a range of emotions. One of the things, if you knew,
Will Al Blanton cry? That's the question.
Absolutely, I will.
If he doesn't, I will.
Brack's kind of the crier of the
Well,
bunch.
let me jump in. I had a thought there. Yes, I do wear my heart on my sleeve.
Right.
Very in tune with that. But even like yesterday when we were reviewing what we've kind of done the day before, segment wise, the different sequences and scenes, and I don't know if it's just because I'm so buried in it and just so living in this world with all this footage and I know everything start to finish. But when you start putting music cues in there and you get that emotional nature and it evokes all that. And for me watching this, I mean, if I can pat ourselves on the back, I am so proud of this.
Yeah.
And it just, there's certain moments where I just well up and I can't help it. And I really hope that it touches other people in that same way and brings out that same emotion with people because, storytelling at its finest, when you can pull all of these elements together and create that motion and create the tone, it's just like you said, it's magic.
Yeah.
To me, what I think where we bring something to the table is, I love the ESPN 30 for 30s.
Exactly.
Like, I love them.
Me
I mean,
too.
I'll watch them all the time.
Yeah.
And that was the original inspiration.
That's the original inspiration. I think sometimes, not every time, but I think sometimes what those things lack is emotive, moving, creative element, because sometimes they just kind of tell the story
Right.
very matter of factly. I mean, and I'm not saying this to be disparaging toward that, or that what we're doing is better than that. But I do think one of the things that we want to do is hammer down on the creative element, the cinematographical. How about that word?
That's good. I think you made that one up.
Element.
I think he did too.
Yeah.
We want that to be part of it.
I'm no professional like Brack, but I'm pretty sure you made that work.
Yeah.
Well, and you guys won't, and I'm sure, anybody that puts film together, they're putting heart into it, but I can really feel that you guys, with the things that you've done and this documentary, heart is at the middle of it.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's the number one thing, is that if you're just phoning it in and dialing it in like that, it's
What's the point
just,
of doing
yeah,
it?
stop,
Yeah.
and to me, where I always said, I love having my hands on every single part of the process, and that's what I've loved, being able to bring Al into that and kind of see this world and how it all works, how the sausage is made. That's what I always say. Let's,
Right.
this is how the sausage is made,
Yeah.
and behind the scenes. And just like the other day, when we're working together on the edit and working on the different cuts, Al said, "I don't feel like I'm working."
Right, yeah.
But I said, "Well, yeah, we are." And it's so much mental thought into it. Yeah, it's not physical. We're not out, digging ditches, cutting grass, what have you. But it's like you said, your heart's in it, and if you're in tune with all of the content, all the emotion, and all of the story, it makes it so much easier.
Right, yeah. Well, and anytime you pour yourself into something, that is work. And what I want to see is you guys pour yourself into this and a huge crowd show up tomorrow night, because I don't want it to be an empty gym and just these two guys watching the movie.
Yeah.
So let's turn out and support this
Yeah,
effort.
Yeah.
please come
Because
out.
I think it's just an incredible project for you guys to put together.
And we've gotten a lot of community support.
Oh, yeah.
Like we already have.
Yeah.
I mean, and if anybody has gotten community support across the years, it's been me.
Oh yeah,
So this community has been awesome to me. I mean, I love Jasper. I love being here. I love the people here. The support that I've got across the years has been remarkable.
yeah,
But when you put something together creatively, and like you said, and you put your heart and soul into something, and I think we've put together a really good product that this community can be proud of, that
Yeah.
the family can be proud of, and we do want people to come out tomorrow night, because I think it's going to be really something special. And going back to pressure, I mean, like, this was personal for me,
yeah,
because of my relationship with him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was my coach. He made a huge impact on my life. I went into coaching because I wanted to be like Coach Clem.
right,
And so it's personal for me.
yeah.
So
Well, and I mean, I know your dad is like a huge figure in your life.
yeah,
But I feel like just from knowing you over the years, Coach Clem's probably that very next level of a father figure, that type thing,
my dad, Clem, Tinker. I mean, just there have been so many people along the way that have been incredible influences on my life. But when you talk about characters, the top two, without question, are Big Al and Coach Clem.
Right, yeah.
And I grew up under that, so I didn't have a chance.
Right, yeah.
So, but just incredible influence on my life, both those guys.
Yeah. Guys, we're listening. You're listening to Live at 9 with James Phillips. This morning we got Al Blanton and Brack Bradley here. And we're going to take a quick break and listen to our sponsors, Young Jewelers. We want to thank them for being a sponsor for Live at 9. And we'll be right back after this break. And we'll talk about some of the other things that Blanton has going on. And also some of the accolades that Brack has been involved with over the years. I think you'll find that interesting, some of the different things that he's worked on as far as his camera work and that sort of thing. So we'll be right back in just a moment here on Live at 9. And we are back on Live at 9 with James Phillips, 101.5 FM, WJLX. Got Al Blanton and Brack Bradley here this morning. And, man, this has been a good conversation so far.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would want to talk to you guys this long.
All right, well, we'll get out of here.
I thought for sure that Al would be getting on my nerves by now. But he's not. He's doing good. Or I really thought I would be getting on y'all's nerves, probably. So we've talked about the projects that you guys are doing together. I'd like to talk a little bit, let people know about the projects that you guys do separately. Al, you've got Blanton, which was Blanton Media Group, and that involves Tailgate, that involves the Walker Leader, 78 Magazine. What all you guys have going on right now?
We've got a lot going on. I think my staff thinks I'm crazy sometimes because we're always, kind of putting some new project together, and really what I'm working on most of the time is Tailgate, and I'm just a huge sports guy. Yeah. And I had this idea to do a print publication that really covers sports in the state of Alabama comprehensively. And I had that idea, and I really, decided to pull the trigger on it, again, about a year ago. And so most of my work is working with Tailgate. And I've got an incredible staff. I don't give them enough praise, but they are doing such a good job at running 78 Magazine and Walker Leader and all the other things that we're doing. So I'm able to focus on this publication, and along with that are these documentaries, but also I've got a weekly podcast that I'm trying to get rolling too. It's just the Tailgate podcast. It's on YouTube. Trying to interview sports legends and personalities, and we're about to roll out an interview with Coach Bill Curry. We went over to Atlanta and interviewed Coach Curry. This is my second interview with him. I had an interview with him for an article for Saturday Down South about maybe like 8 years ago or something like that. Such a gracious person. But we're going to roll that out hopefully in the next few days. So that's what I'm trying to kind of focus on, is getting my podcast up and rolling, and that's a large part of what I'm doing. And then I think I can speak for Brack in saying that I think we want to continue doing this documentary stuff, and it just combines all the elements that I like, and again, we've got a synergy, and so we want to continue doing that work as well.
Yeah. Anything else new coming down the pike? Because like you said, I'm sure your folks think, "Wow, what are we going to do next?" Because you're a lot like I was when I was at the newspaper. It doesn't have to just be a newspaper. Yeah, we can do a lot of cool stuff. Yeah. So I appreciate what your group has done. I think y'all have really embraced the community and highlight the positives of our community, which is something that was needed.
Yeah, and when you were with the paper, you had to do the hard news story, right. and hey, I've got respect for that. That's just not what we're trying to do. Right. That's I don't know. That's just not my personality necessarily, and right. and there's nothing wrong with what y'all. I think it's good what y'all did at the paper and what they continue to do at the paper. But, right. Just really doing a lot of profiles and people-focused articles and videos and things like that, supporting businesses, and that's kind of the lane that we want to stay in. Yeah,
yeah. I think y'all do a great job with it for sure. Brack, when did I interview you the first time? This was...
Oh, God, was that...
It was way back in the day.
Was that when you were in state prison? Or
shackles had just come off. Yeah. James, I think that was that Alaska project?
It was right before the Alaska project debuted.
Yeah. So that was the Discovery Channel show. Yeah. That I did, and
I think you had already done Big Brother.
Yeah.
And you had done maybe a Bachelor or something along those lines.
Yeah. So around that time, I had moved out to Los Angeles in 2004, and had a great series of connections out there, and trying to give the elevator pitch of it. long story short is there was a group of guys from Alabama, from the University of Alabama, that had moved out there. And we had a great opportunity through Tom Sharonis. He was former executive producer, director of Seinfeld.
Okay,
and
yeah.
he was
My favorite show ever.
Yeah. So he was alumni of UA and started coming back and kind of leading these film classes as a senior group and producing a student film under his leadership. So after that, he took this small group to LA and said, if you want to do this, get yourselves out here. I'll introduce you. We'll do a little networking. So I was the third group that did that class. So by then, 2 groups were already networked in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I had a great opportunity and very blessed, very grateful for that, and moved out there. Essentially, the house I moved into, we had a big party. They introduced me as the new Bama boy, said, let's get him some work, and started from the ground up.
Wow.
As a production assistant, ordering coffees, ordering lunches, picking up production supplies, started bugging the right people, and slowly but surely made my way into the camera department. Mm-hmm. And we went on a tear for 20 years and doing every reality show, documentary show, music videos, commercials, anything and everything while I was out there, and kind of was able to, put my fingers in every pie out there and try it all out. And
name off some of the shows and artists that you've worked with, because it's really impressive. I know you don't want to pat yourself on the back.
Oh, no.
But people think it's cool.
Well, got to work with Mr. T from the A-Team.
Yeah.
A huge childhood favorite. Worked on The Bachelor for and all that franchise of shows, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise. I know a lot of people, think it's trash. We had a blast. I got to travel the world. I bet
you had a blast doing it.
I got to travel the world and see something of 56 countries around planet Earth.
The one that I've gotten hooked on is The Golden Bachelor.
I'm so glad I wasn't involved in that one.
Yeah, because my wife will watch them from time to time.
Right.
Her mother is now single after her father passed away a couple years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and her mom's dating. And seeing The Golden Bachelor just makes me think of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but but all of these projects, I'd worked with Gordon Ramsay on Hell's Kitchen for years, and done everything from Treehouse Masters to going in and doing some American Idol. Was on The Voice for a little short stint.
Lego Masters.
Lego Masters.
Yeah, isn't that? I mean, did you work on the newest Lego Masters?
Yeah, the junior version.
Yeah. Didn't it just come out this week?
It did. It just came out this week.
Yeah.
And I feel like we filmed that 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And you kind of forget about all that stuff, and then you see it start popping up on social media. You say, "Oh, I forgot about that."
Wait, I was involved with it.
Yeah. And but it's all of these projects and all of these experiences of traveling the world and doing this and that and meeting and greeting whoever it is. It's really led to a lot of what Al and I are doing, and that's where, after moving back from Los Angeles to Jasper, I wanted to focus on real stories. Because for so long, it was working on...
You're telling me reality shows are not real stories? Is that what you're saying?
Keep it a secret. But the thing is that's where, like, with Coach Clem, it's a real story. It's real people. It's real emotions. And to be able to put all of those talents together and collaborate with somebody like Al that's really good at what he does and bring that together, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, definitely so. Mm-hmm. What any other projects you have coming up?
We just shot with Mark Ingram, 2009 Heisman Trophy winner, University of Alabama, and Ryan Williams, currently playing.
Right.
We went down and did a thing for Fox Sports and kind of a profile piece and hung out with them for the day. So that'll be coming out sometime soon.
Right.
I have a series of clients around Birmingham, Jasper, that we're currently doing projects with, and traveling around the Southeast. So it really is one of those things. The phone could ring tomorrow or even today, and I can be somewhere next week.
Right. Yeah.
So it's always a roll of the dice.
Yeah.
But very, very blessed though. Very grateful for all all the things that have been happening.
Right. Well, what's next for you two guys? Have y'all talked about the next project? Can we release that? Can it be breaking news right here on Live at 9?
You heard it first.
Yeah. We've talked about some things. It seems like there's a little bit of a progression, and that's kind of the way I think and operate. And how far can we take this? That's kind of that's my personality.
Right.
And I mean, maybe that's to my detriment, but we started out, and the Hudson documentary was 10 minutes, okay? And then the Yancey documentary was 14 minutes. This one's going to be somewhere between an hour and 15 minutes.
Are you telling me y'all are going like for Ken Burns type stuff? Is that what's going to happen?
It's beautiful stuff.
Yeah. But I'm not opposed to something like that.
No.
I mean, I don't know where this is going, and that's kind of the cool thing, is really how the Lord is working through this whole situation, to help us put together, and again, bringing us along at the right pace.
Right.
Because I really feel this documentary project on Coach Clem has stretched us. It's made us better. And I think about how, I was just kind of a documentary rube, when I started,
Right.
just a rube, had no idea what I was doing, and now we're starting to kind of fine tune what we're doing. And it's exciting to me to go, okay, we're a 2-man show, but could at some point we do something on Netflix, or, and again, not that that's the biggest deal in the world,
Right.
but what are we capable of? Could we bring some more staff on? I mean, is that possible? So-
Well, I mean, there was a documentary on the Jasper Mall that ended up on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So I think Prime's at least reachable.
yeah.
And
Absolutely.
Netflix should be,
One thing that's cool for me is, like, when you start doing this, you start looking at other documentaries with different eyes.
Right.
You're not just watching a documentary, you're watching it to see how they're doing things. What's been neat about learning from Brack is that I'm kind of seeing the behind the scenes video editing, videography, things like that. I'm learning more about that. I mean, I didn't have a ton of exposure to that.
Right. But just how to visualize
Yeah.
it.
So like a lot of times when we're drawing inspiration, I'm looking at a documentary. There's a documentary on Netflix right now called The Pharmacist. And my wife and I were watching it, and I texted Brack and just said, hey man, check out the intro sequence to The Pharmacist. We could put something like that together for this Coach Clem thing. And so we're drawing inspiration from movies and documentaries and seeing how those things are shot. So that's been a neat aspect for me, is learning how to do it.
Right. Now, have you ever worked on a feature film or documentary? Is this like the longest project,
Not necessarily. Now, I've worked on a couple of movies,
Right.
feature films,
Right.
but the documentary work, I've kind of done my own version of documentary work over the years,
Right.
and I use that as a loose term.
Yeah.
But in terms of, with interviews supported by visual, images and narratively driven through the interviews, it's all documentary work, but. The thing is like, you never know what's next.
Right.
That's the beauty of it, and it's you never know when that golden nugget's just going to fall in your lap. And like with this project, we've been so blessed to just have so many archival moments just land right in front of us, and discover all of these little moments, of these micro moments that some people may not have seen for 35, 40 years.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you feel like you've cracked open the treasure chest, and you're like, oh my God, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's amazing. And, I think we're both nostalgic, and we both share that love and nostalgia. So being able to discover those things and put them into a form that we can tell a story with is amazing.
Right.
We
yeah.
want it to be. We want it to be meaningful, though. Like, I mean, I think that's kind of what you're getting to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's been things that I've done in my life that are empty. There's just not much substance to them.
Yeah.
And I really believe that what we're doing with these documentaries has got meaning to it. And so whatever it is moving forward, we want it to be something that's compelling. We I guess we fancy ourselves as storytellers. I mean,
Right.
and I think in society we've kind of gotten away from that. Telling a great story, telling a story that means something, and whether it's overcoming adversity or something else. But I just think that's kind of the story that we're looking for, the inspirational, the human interest story. Whatever that next project is, and we'll hope, Lord willing, there will be one. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, yeah. Well, remind everybody about tomorrow night's event. What do they need to know? What's the basic details?
Yeah, just come on. Clem Gym, 6:30. I would probably get there a little bit early. We're going to be selling tickets at the door. You can also get them on eventbrite.com, BRITE.com. You can type in Coach Clem. You'll save a little bit of money by ordering them online. But you can also get tickets at the door. They're $15 a piece. We'll have the gym set up. We'll get up there and say a few words. Dr. Joel Haygood is gonna give some remarks. Then we'll show the documentary. Then we'll have the Q&A session with Angela, Robert, and Glenn Jr. And so we're just looking forward to it, man. I mean, it's a little bit nerve-wracking in a way, because anytime you do something creative, you want it to be well received, and so we're just kind of fine-tuning things right now and putting the finishing touches on it, and we'll be ready to roll it out tomorrow night.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
And you guys will dance at the movie premiere tomorrow night.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's where we'll see the dance.
Yeah,
We're going to work on that too while we're working on
Yeah, I was
finishing
going to
everything
say,
else.
you might want to practice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like you could put it together pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
yeah.
I think so.
He was another thing you don't know about Brack was he was a backup dancer for Enrique Iglesias.
Oh,
for
wow,
years.
yeah.
Yeah, look at that music video. I'll send you the link.
Yeah.
It's blurry, but I'm in the background.
Yeah.
Well, and I know back in the day, Al was a Chippendale dancer.
That's right.
Is
Yeah,
what
I was
somebody told
with. Yeah, I was in that during that same time frame with Chris Farley.
That's what I was gonna
and,
say, Chris Farley and Patrick
Swayze,
Swayze, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was that the tryout was actually on the Chippendale video on SNL. That was actually because I had just retired.
Right.
So they were trying to find a replacement for that, and that's why Farley and Swayze were
Right.
trying to be chosen.
Yeah.
So
One more thing I wanted to mention is that, through these projects, and I'm sure, here at the radio, you guys are familiar with this too, but there's so many inside jokes that
Oh, yeah.
develop through each project. And, you can mention one thing and you would think that it's like, what are you talking about? We're crazy.
Right.
But it's almost a method to the madness to kind of helping you work through those things. And that's another thing I love. It's like, as serious as some of these moments can be, there's so many other little bits that pop out, and that's just another beautiful thing about the whole process is
Yeah.
that just all the comedy in it, and it's different every time.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing that I love. I mean, you guys are hitting on some super serious subjects.
yeah.
But you can still find laughter and you can find joy in these serious stories, and joy just pops up.
Well,
sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now, one thing I will say is, if you knew Coach Clem, you just knew how absolutely funny he was. But the stories that are told by the people that we interviewed,
Yeah.
Robert Epps, absolutely.
Oh, I can only
knocks it
imagine.
out of the park. We
Yeah.
have laughed at Coach Epps.
But can you believe? Even 75, or can you believe 25% of what Robert's telling you? That's my question.
It doesn't matter at this point.
It's golden.
It is.
But I've heard plenty of his stories, and I don't know how much is true. But he tells a great story.
But
I love Robert.
But when he tells the stories about Coach Clem, it's
Oh,
almost
yeah.
like he's a little kid.
Yeah.
He just gets so there's a moment that and his laughter is hilarious. But there's just a moment in one of the interviews, and he tells a story, and he's just dying laughing, And man, that's really cool to see all the laughter and that Coach Clem brought to people's lives. And so yes, there have been some hilarious moments along the way, and with the people that we've interviewed, the stories that we're going to share, but also, like you said, between us, because we're two knuckleheads, and we're kind of on the opposite end. I mean, I can be very, very serious, and my wife knows this very well. I can be very serious, but then I can be so silly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my personality, and so I think Brack is very similar too. Is that we can be so dialed in and serious, but then
you can turn into a 12-year-old boy.
Right,
exactly.
right,
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
At any moment.
Right.
So, and that's what's cool. So,
Well, I sure appreciate you guys coming in. I know y'all got a lot of busy things going on and a lot of work to get ready for tomorrow and the premiere, but I do appreciate y'all coming in, and I'm just happy that we can help kind of share the story and share your story
yeah.
about sharing somebody else's story. That's the fun part.
Well, thank you for letting us come on and helping us promote it. It means a lot.
It really does.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to Live at 9 this week, and thank you guys for sure the entire week and just the way that you've supported the show since we started. That means a lot because it's our way to be able to tell the stories of the people here in Walker County, and we sure do appreciate you guys listening and all the kind words that we've been hearing. Thanks to our guests for coming in all week this week. Next week, let me just let you know on Monday, we're going to have Chris Edwards. He's the former mayor of Dora, and he's got a thing going around where he wants to see Dora and Summerton possibly merge in the next few years. And it's really started taking on some traction online, so he's going to come in and talk about that. They're going to have petitions out at the municipal elections on Tuesday to have people sign that they would like to move forward, maybe put some committees together, that kind of thing. So Chris will be here. If anybody has questions you'd like to ask him, it'd be great just to send them my way, and I'll let him know. But until Monday, tune in tonight. We've got Jasper Viking football. It'll be me and Woody Wilson on the call, and then County Game of the Week will be on 88.5 FM, and that's going to be Carbon Hill at Curry. It'll be Brian Hale and Zach McCullough on the call for that one. So be sure to tune in to football tonight. High school football kicks off, and I cannot wait to be at the Jasper game. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time on Live at 9 with James Phillips on WJLX.